Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran, and in today's video I want to offer you guys a very helpful rogue-centric video for Mythic Plus dungeons. This Tuesday or Wednesday reset patch 8.1 is going to hit, and everybody who does a Mythic Plus at least at a 10 will start earning the new currency for the brand new patch in order for you guys to eventually buy a specific high item level Azeroth piece of gear. I really would love for you guys to take advantage of this and start working on this currency, but that means, especially all of you rogues, you guys need to get your plus 10s done. Rogues are actually really good for Mythic Plus dungeons. You have exceptional cleave and AoE, exceptional sustain single target damage, you have very strong defensives, Vanish is a great utility, and CC is exceptional. But the biggest thing you offer to your team is the ability of Shroud of Concealment, an ability that shrouds your whole team in stealth, allowing you guys to skip certain trash packs that would otherwise be, let's say, too long to kill, or maybe too difficult, or too dangerous. And it's not really the most common knowledge out there which trash packs are best to skip. So in this video, I want to give you guys a guide to Shroud of Concealment in Mythic Plus dungeons, showing you every trash pack you should be skipping, whether you have a pre-made group with guildies or trying to go for random LFGs. This is especially helpful to anybody who does random LFGs to get your 10s done, because a lot of people will get all these rogues into their teams and they kind of expect for you to already know which trash packs you should skip. So hopefully you guys will find this video helpful, and it goes over every single dungeon where this can be done, as well as certain key areas where it has to be done if you have a rogue in your Mythic Plus. The first dungeon is Atal'Dazar. When you head on over to what is considered the second boss on the right side of the dungeon, you'll want to walk your group as close as you can to the edge right here, before this massive trash bag. You can actually skip it by walking your group along the left side. Just make sure everybody is mounted. So you pop Shroud, walk along the left side to the wall. Along the wall you keep hugging it around the corner into the water and into the boss room. This way you're able to skip 2 trash bags and begin doing the boss. The second dungeon is Freehold. This one is actually very easy because you literally do the shrouding at the very start of the dungeon. You take your group up the stairs and across, literally to the room where the first boss is. Before the first boss, you can pull either the trash bag at the regular location with 2 dogs and 2 enforcers, or you can do the trash bag at the bottom of the stairs with 3 dogs and 2 enforcers. Pull one of these packs and you can literally start doing the first boss ASAP. The next dungeon is King's Rest, and the skip you will want to do is towards the third boss. Just get to the bridge that will take you to the last boss fight and kill the trash bag in front of the bridge. Afterwards, you shroud your whole team through. What I like to do is pop Shroud and throw my distract in the middle of all the enemies, so then their angle of where they're looking at is a little bit easier to get through, and you should still have enough shroud time in order to get past those 2 mobs at the end. Now, you can shroud into the room, but getting out of it is going to be a little bit difficult, and the best way to do it is to simply do a death run. The tank will just go by themselves, pick up all the aggro in proximity, and just start trying to run along the hallway as fast as you can. If you have any items, they can burn those in order to increase the movement speed to get out of there ASAP. And then everybody will just run to the bridge that takes you to the last boss, and you'll have a healer master them from a while away. Shrine of the Storm is the next dungeon, and this one will be very important if you have a rogue in your team. As a rogue, you have 2 skips that you have to pull off. The first one is a little bit dicey, the second one is a lot more straightforward. So the first one will be here at this room with this trash bag near the waterfall. You'll simply shroud your whole team and use the waterfall to jump down, and you can either cut across, or if there's an enemy walking around that has an eye that can see stealthies, you would want to go the long way. So the way that you do this is you first shroud your team, then you distract the water Ellie so he's facing away, you jump down the waterfall, and then you go along the water. Again, it depends whether the pathing mob is in the area or not. So simply take your team as far as you can along the edge, and as long as you are hugging the wall, you should be just fine. The next skip is a lot easier, but it's a very important skip, because if you actually have to fight any of these mobs with a rogue, you will know that it takes a long time for taking out all of them. It's a bunch of caster ads that put on a bunch of debuffs and buffs, and it's very annoying to deal with. Simply shroud your team through that while sprinting. Even if your sprint is down as subtlety, you can just shadow step to whoever in your party is the furthest ahead in your shroud circle and just keep stepping to them. Same thing for Assassination, and with the Outlaw you can simply grab a hook if sprint is down. Next dungeon is Temple of Sethraliss. This one, just like Shrine of the Storm, has 2 skips, and these 2 skips are very, very important. Pulling off these skips is going to be a huge time saver, and it's almost kind of mandatory. The first skip is very simple. The second one looks easy, but it's kind of just a long skip, and you're hoping out that your Shroud simply lasts long enough for that skip to work. So the first skip is after you kill the first pack of mobs, you do the skip along the left side. You'll shroud your allies, you'll distract the first set of adds, and then you will want to make sure to sap this add that stealths in the corner. They will be marked somewhere near the little skitter bugs on the ground, so look for those skitter bugs to know if there's a stealthy add nearby. If you don't sap that stealthy add, it can stun your tank, your DPS, your healer, and it'll take him out of stealth, and then now the whole team is engaged in a team fight, and you're kind of in the middle of an enemy trash bag that you weren't prepared for. Very difficult to recover from. The next skip is towards the last boss. After you have done put the orb in the door, and then the snake door opens. After you have done that, you'll have this long stretch of stairs all the way down to the last boss. This next skip is going to be simply shroud everybody down the stairs. So you want to shroud along the left side, and you want to distract the first add and the second add. There'll be a caster add that you want to sap. So distract the first one and sap the last one. Really, really easy. The difficulty of this one is all about trying to get as close as you can, so then you can get the most value out of your shroud. Now, the actual shroud buff is going to go away before the animation and before your allies come out of stealth, so it should give you enough time, but can sometimes be a little bit dodgy, and just be on the lookout in case your team ends up getting into a team fight. The next dungeon is going to be Underrot. The skip you'll be doing for this dungeon is going to be to the first boss. You will get your team as far as you can on the right side and shroud them along the right path. Try to tell your team ahead of time to hug the left wall so you can sap the leftmost add, so then none of you guys get caught out from stealth. And you should be able to get to the boss and start nuking the boss down. The next dungeon is Waycrest. For Waycrest, you want to basically kill as many things as possible, as well as the 3 bosses on the top layer of the dungeon, and try to get the add percentage down to about 83-84 at best. When you kill enough enemy forces to get yourselves to about 84%, that means you can do a pretty big skip down the hall. You're going to want to get under the stairs around the 3 boss fight, and there's going to be a door that takes you into the attic. You walk everybody down the stairs into the attic, but not too far so they don't pull aggro. And then, once everybody is in the cellar area, you want to shroud them into the hole in the wall that takes you even further down into like the ritualistic chambers. This one should be pretty easy. Matron Alma does path around the ghost lady. She just paths around back and forth, but your team should be able to shroud around her if she is there. Fairly easy to deal with. But it's very important that you're going down at a fairly high percentage. Again, 84% is the perfect number you're looking at, but if you're going even a little bit over, I guess it's not the worst. Now, those were all the dungeons where you can use a shroud skip, whether you can technically use it to help your team out, or you kind of have to use it as a rogue in order to definitely guarantee that you guys are going to do it on time. Then there is 3 dungeons where there's no real great opportunity to use a shroud skip. The first one is Atal'Dazar, and the reason this one is not that good is majority of the harder trash bags that you would want to skip are in the second half. But also, in the second half of the dungeon, majority of the mobs have an eye above them, so they could see stealthies, so shrouding is not the best way of doing it. What most groups end up doing is death runs. Like, for example, you will have a Death Knight or a Warlock in a team. You guys would run into a boss, and the healer would purposefully die very quickly. The Warlock or the Death Knight, or I guess another Druid, will battle res the healer. Everybody dies, the healer reses, master reses everybody, you do the boss. That's the only way to really skip it. Same thing goes for Siege of Borealis. You kind of just try to beeline to the next boss, and the next boss, and the next boss, and you'll end up getting to 100% by the time you're on the 3rd boss. So there's no real ways to kind of kill a lot more trash bags in the first half and then skip the second half. So far, the most efficient way has been just to head and beeline to bosses and kill everything in your way as fast as possible. And then, of course, the last dungeon is Motherlode. This one also is just like Atal'Dazar. Where you would want to skip is on the second half, but the second half is where all the mobs that have the eye above them, they will see all your stealth groups. So it's really no point skipping any part of this dungeon. Again, this one, the way most people deal with is they would just kill as many things as they can in the opener if you can do death runs, if you have a class with a battle res. So this is it. This is the video on how to use Shroud in Mythic Plus dungeons, where you would use the Shroud in different areas of the dungeons, and how you can help your team as a rogue skip certain trash packs. In BFA, rogues in Mythic Plus dungeons are a lot more important. Back in Legion, you had certain trash packs that you could skip, but it was maybe like 2 or 3 or 4. In BFA, majority of the dungeons have a huge skip for your team to take advantage of. And because of the ways that you can complete these dungeons, maybe like eliminate a lot of enemies in the first half so you can skip the second half, or the other way around, it gives your team a lot of flexibility in how they want to do these dungeons. Most people do not take the chance out of their day to explain to rogues exactly where the skips are and how to do them. And most people in Mythic Plus dungeons, and you don't want to be that guy getting into an M+ key and then everybody's standing around and it's like, all right, rogue, do your skip, and you have no idea what you're doing. So hopefully you guys will find this video very helpful. I do wish you guys a lot of luck in Mythic Plus dungeons, and hopefully with this type of video and this type of knowledge, it'll be a lot easier for you guys to figure out how to do Mythic Plus dungeons and overall be successful at them. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Hopefully you guys find this information helpful, and I'll see all of you guys in another video.